they making hand over fist at that joint, boy.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. Just imagine how many people gonna be in that joint.
It's gonna be packed, man. You gotta put in an offer and get a ticket.
An offer?
Yeah, that's how it
It's like StockX around this bitch, man. They can treat y'all like StockX around this bitch, man.
Yeah, imagine they gonna make it. I wonder they gonna make it.
They said, man, we gotta have an offer in that bitch.
Nike.
Huh? Oh yeah, the fake shoes.
You recording that?
I ain't recording.
Oh my bad.
I was like, dog, they going. That's a hit on the market, dog.
Yeah, they gonna be.
Cause they the one buying all this shit.
Yeah, they try to pull away from them.
They the one buying all this shit, dog. Nigga be like, bro, that shit ridiculous, dog. Nigga can't hardly get nothing on the sneaker app.
Yeah, I got the what's the names on.
I got one pair. There was them Air Trainer ones.
The
The 90s that they had last week.
They don't see you the what's the names?
What?
They don't see like the exclusive shit.
They do, but fuck, the most popular ones now is the Trainer 90s, the MX 90s, the J's, the retro ones.
You don't like those?
They cool, it's just hard to get them.
No, I'm talking about they don't send you like the what's the name?
They sent the little 50-year joint.
No. Shit, they send me this. They send me the offer before it come out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's my order history right here.
Ain't that about a bitch?
They sent them before.
How you get that?
Nah, they just send that shit to me. Like,
So you don't have to wait till the day it drops.
No, it ain't consistent.
Yeah.
But they'll send me like these right here.
Yeah.
Like I had them before they came out.
Ain't that about a bitch?
The day they
Ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah, the date was on the 5th. They came out.
I remember those.
Yeah, they came out.
Ain't that about a
they
bitch?
At the house. These right here came
Ain't that
out.
about a bitch?
These came out yesterday.
That's ridiculous.
I ordered mine on the 17th.
Some people got it good, some people don't.
Nah, bro, like
some people got it good, some people
so
don't.
they see you that shit. I be like, all right, cool. Like these J's, yeah, man, like shit. I always check two. I'll look at them, and then I always go to.
Them Dunk Lows is always the most popular too.
Nah, I look at them. And I look at Sneaker Politics. They got stores in New Orleans, in Louisiana, and Texas and shit.
Oh, yeah.
They do the same shit. They do what's the name too, but I ain't win the. They do raffle shit. Yeah. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. They did a raffle the other day, but yeah, the OG Heritage. This shit came out.
Damn.
I'm just came out. They at the house now.
Ain't that bad, bitch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they delivering it by now. Yeah, I don't. Half the time I don't wear these bitches. Shit, these.
Like I say,
I just wear these
don't
for the
really
first
go
time.
I'm going
I wear these for the first time.
Niggas just gotta wear them bitches go to the store.
Like, sometimes I wear just walk to the mailbox. I ain't got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I got like about 10 pair up there I ain't wore since last year, man. Like I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, sometimes I have to check myself.
Then the waffle ones, they kind of popular now. The Nike waffles.
Shit, I got a couple. I ain't even worn.
Yeah, they
I had them last since like the last year and a half. Like the orange, like they're like orange or something.
Like orange, black, and like a rust color.
Like rust. Yeah, I ain't worn them, man. They still sitting in the box.
I got like a red pair. I bought.
And I ain't worn those. I ain't wore. I have another pair I ain't worn. I ain't like shit, man. Them should be sitting there.
Like we need a whole room in the new crib, dog, for the sneakers.
There is one. It's gonna be in the basement. In the corner over there where the washer and dryer is. I'm gonna stack that shit right on over there, right there. Yeah. Get all that shit out the way. All that shit do is in the way right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the shit without the shit. I haven't included the shit in the storage. Yeah. That shit in storage probably gonna be ridiculous too. You ready, man?
Let's go.
Yeah, you going ahead?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. And we're back with another episode of the Arguing Brothers Podcast. Ray, how you doing today?
Man, we good, bro. It's a 2-man show today.
Yeah, it's down to 2.
Down to 2, bro.
It's down to 2. Sometimes they can say two's company, two's the best.
Hey, when there's 2, we got a show.
Two rolling, 2 deep. You know what I mean?
Deep, dog. Too deep in the colors.
Yeah, man. The other fellas, they out, man. Got, other prior engagements.
Yeah,
we wish them well. Enjoy that good weather. It's nice and sunny. And when we say nice and sunny, we mean hot and sunny down up here in your capital city in D.C.
It's scorching out.
It's scorching hot outside, but we ain't gonna complain.
Nah.
We went through a very cold, ridiculous winter last year, this year.
Shit, a cold spring.
And a spring, yeah. It's been a cold spring as well. Well, I didn't even count the spring because it's been so cold.
Yeah, it's been.
So it's just been one of those things. So we good. We're good to go. We're happy.
Yeah.
We're excited to have some warm weather. I don't care if it's 90 degrees.
From the south.
It felt good. We Southern people. We enjoy it. We ain't just to debunk a lot of theories out there. We don't just sit outside and bask in heat.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think just because we're black people from the South as well, that we just gonna sit outside and just enjoy that hot air and the hot heat. Nah, we tend to kind of go inside and enjoy the equities of our hard work of air conditioning.
Thanks.
Right? HVAC. So we enjoy that as well. So, but kudos, like I said, man, holler to them boys, man. We'll see y'all next week. Let's jump into the show.
Yes, sir.
'Cause we got a lot to talk about, brother.
Let's do it.
All right, man. So let's go into the NBA recap. Game 1, Miami, Celts. Very good game to a certain point, and then Miami pulled away in the third quarter and won in a more of a comfortable position in the fourth quarter. Different change of events that happened this past week on game 2.
Yeah.
One team jumped on them in the first quarter and coasted the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So this game, this series between these two teams has been kind of hard to judge, right?
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on the first 2 games of the series between the Celts and the Heat, man.
I think it's gonna be hard for the Heat unless Jimmy go for about 40 a night. He gotta kind of go Luka-like. Like he has to be more aggressive from the start. He can't wait to fill the game out because the way Boston's shooting these threes, and then if you get Tatum on the road, then Marcus Smart came back game 2, gave him a huge lift, and just I don't know if they can overcome it. Right, so Jimmy has to get off to a great start like he did in game 1, where he dropped 41.
Yeah.
But even then, he started slow.
Yeah,
Boston had a big lead going into halftime, and then they had like the wheels fell off on Boston in the third, and they lost the game off the third quarter.
Yeah.
But if I'm Miami, Bam, I need you. 6th man of the year, Tyler Hero, I need you.
Bam's been a disappearing act, and
he has been, and that's a disappointment. They need him. The whole
playoffs. I mean, not. He did okay in the Philly series. The Atlanta series was decent. But this series right here, they need him wholeheartedly.
They need 20 and 10 out of Bam.
And if he ain't give you 22, but he doesn't have a back to the basket type of game. We don't know whether he's going to come with that type of intensity. He's more of a defense. He's a defensive stopper.
Right.
But he's not a guy that you look at and say, okay, back to the basket. I need you to go get that basket. He benefits off of other players.
And I need him though, right? Like you got to be able to dominate that matchup with Horford. Even though Horford is a great defender, he's old. You should be able to use your athleticism, your quickness. Miami has to get in transition more, right? Run Boston. Make them to a point where Al Horford is going to be a liability on defense, right? Because he's not getting back on defense. If you let Boston get set, it's going to be hard work for Miami to score.
Right.
And I just want Jimmy Butler to be aggressive tonight in game 3. Like he has to from the jump, right? He has to get going tonight.
Tomorrow.
They play tonight. Tonight.
They play tomorrow.
I'm looking at it right now. 8:30. Clue in. Tonight.
I don't think so, man. I think it's tomorrow.
Well, anyway, game 3, they need Jimmy Butler need to get going early, and they need help because Boston has Tatum playing out his mind. Jaylen Brown is getting anything he wants off the dribble. 3 ball. Marcus Smart just getting anything he wants. And then the guy, Williams, number 12, he getting anything he wants. So if I'm Miami, man, it's a tough battle, bro. And they should be down 2-0, right? They had the big third quarter in game 1 and really won game 1. But I think Tucker may be out. That don't help him on the defensive end, checking Brown or Tatum. Kyle Lowry may try to play tonight, but it's looking up It's looking like a quick series. I think it'll be over in 6, Boston.
I mean, that's a good prediction. I don't. To me, I don't see the issue with. I'm with you with Bam. Bam has just been a disappointment. I mean, he needs to really. I thought Bam would take another step this season.
Yep.
So just seeing Bam doing what he's doing this past season, really, I mean, not being up to that next level. I mean, we thought Bam could be not a Giannis, but he can be close. I mean, he has good handles, can play in space, great jump shot. He can step out, hit the three. You know what I mean? So and he's a good defensive stopper. I thought that, and I think he's on the all-defense team, if I'm not mistaken.
He has to want it.
I thought Bam would have been, at that next level. Like I said, not at that tier, maybe not a Giannis, but at that tier, a couple of tiers below where you see him progressing. And I just haven't seen, especially in this playoff series. I agree with you on that, on the Celts end. I feel like right now, Tatum and Brown are playing at their best. And they're both showing that. They're both showing they're two-way players who want to win. When you brought in Marcus Smart and Al Horford, excuse me. When you bring those two guys in, gritty, strong, disciplined players who play their role.
Yep.
I mean, they're playing their role to the level that they can be stars on any given night.
Yep.
And that's really honestly what is astonishing to me. Is the fact that they're being able to step and fill in these roles when they need to be and be that third scorer.
They need it.
Whether it's Harford going 4 for 4 from 3-point land.
Right.
It's not going to happen every game, but he's doing it in the points of the series or the point of the game where they need it is critical.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart came in and dropped 24 points. It was critical. He hit a couple of baskets when Miami they was about to come on a run. They was down like 16 or 18. They were coming back. He hit a couple of baskets, pulled them away, but went up by 20, and it was all she wrote. That right there says a lot. I mean, those type of plays, those type of games, having those type of veteran players you can put in positions who can really establish a environment of winning like they have. Because, I mean, listen, Smart, Tatum, and Brown have been together for a while now.
Yep.
Right? And they still have not ever hit that point in their careers where they're playing like this. Now, whether it's that coaching, you don't know. Whether it's just, ownership, or maybe it's just now they're at that point where they're more veterans, so they understand how to win. They've had success, but it's never sustainable to this level.
Yeah. And I think Udoka coming in as a player coach, he played in the league, and he came with that.
He's challenging them.
Yeah, he's challenging them.
He's challenging them.
He was a role player in the league. He's coming with that lunch pail mentality. Right, we gonna get after people, right? We know we can outscore everybody and drop 130, but can we play defense? And I think that's what took Boston to another level this year with the defensive end. Even Tatum is now playing defense.
Yeah, and you saw that when they were in game 1, right? Even though they were getting blown out, I think he said something to Tatum or just to the team in general. Like him and Grant Williams were going back and forth, and it was just one of those plays, one of those situations where Grant Williams was just saying, "Let it go." It is what it is, but he wouldn't let it go. He was letting them know, like, listen, to win, you have to have the will to win, the want to win as well. And he's letting you know, like, hey, playing at this level, you're not gonna get this type of success unless you do things the right way.
Yeah.
No plays off.
No, you can't.
Opportunities are there to win. And I told you, I love the attitude. I'm not a big Boston fan, but I do enjoy the fact that these guys are putting in the hours, the man time to really try to win and be successful, bro. And it's astonishing to see. And I'm with you on Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy has to have 40. I just think the team needs to shoot the ball better.
That's true.
Outside of game 1, third, and fourth quarter, they've shot the ball horribly.
Terrible, yeah.
Whether it's Tyler Hero not shooting the ball very well, Tyler Hero not shooting the ball well, or even PJ Tucker's not shooting that well, even though he's been injured. They just haven't really getting the ball in the basket. And once those threes are not hit, they don't attack the rim.
They ain't got nobody else.
It's just Jimmy.
Yeah, that's it.
And you need more than him. Now, can they go and win a game in Boston? Absolutely. They can. They got the type of team to do it. But they're going to need some veteran play. They're going to need a spark. They're going to need somebody who can come off that bench or somebody who can come in the game or start it they have, whether it's they finally play the kid What's the kid, the $90 million man?
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson. They play Duncan. They're gonna have to do something to generate some type of spark.
Yeah, they need something. They need like, who can you say when Miami rolls it out? Who gonna be their second and third scorer?
Well, I feel like they can be. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Victor Oladipo.
He can.
He can be that third scorer for them. I think like that's who they need. They need somebody like him, who's coming off the bench right now. Maybe give him a little bit more minutes and let him come in and establish himself, and let him be like their second or third scorer. They need that type of player, Victor Oladipo type of player that can come in, give you 20, 25 points, and can help Jimmy out.
And he's capable.
Because he's capable of doing it. He has the talent.
Yep.
He has the understanding how to score. He can be that type of player. Now, is he a defensive stopper? Probably not.
Nope.
He's undersized. He's playing against two wings who are big wings.
Big long.
Right? And even Marcus Smart's probably bigger than him.
Probably.
But overall, he can go at them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have these struggles offensively. Because that lapse they had after the first quarter, from the first quarter to the end of the game was awful.
Yeah.
Like it was just to a point where you couldn't see where was Miami going to get a basket from.
And like I said, if Jimmy's struggling, and
right,
like where can they generate the offense? And like you said, Bam was just an all-star last season.
Yeah, I don't see why Bam they take that next step.
And then like the other kid, number 44, is, I mean, he's nice. He's a shot blocker, but Bam has to say, you know what, I'm putting my imprint on this series and it starts tonight. Like he has to.
There's no way.
If not, it might be over in 5.
There's no way Robert Williams should stop you.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
I mean, I get he's a good athlete and a good player, but he's not the type of talent that I would, from a Bam standpoint, that I think is going to stop me from getting 20 to 25 points. And they need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I put a bet on Bam to get a double-double, and Bam got 9 points and 4 rebounds.
Damn, you lost a bet off that?
Yeah, I lost of it. Yeah, that was hot.
Damn.
Like this.
And he got the points early. He got the points early.
Al Horford didn't even play.
Yeah, he got going early.
Like, I'm like, Al Horford didn't play. I was like, man, Al Horford ain't even playing, bro. This should be simple. like 9 points. And all I wanted him to get was 9 points and 4 rebounds, and he couldn't get it. He couldn't get that. I was so hot. I was just like, 9 points and 4 rebounds. That's all you need. Like, if you give me 9 points, if you gave me 1 more point and 6 more boards, and y'all won that game, I'd have got my bet in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But he couldn't give me 9 points. He gave me 9 points and 4 rebounds. Bam, come on, bro.
I'd have been hot.
Bam, you can't be that basic. That's basic type of like effort.
Yeah, they gotta get going, man.
I need you to get more effort because you got a lot of bodies. Like Boston got a lot of bodies. They can put both Williams at you.
Yep.
They can put Harvard at you. So you got to come in there and dominate. And I remember when they played him in the bubble, he played well. He dominated.
Yeah, that's the Bam that they need.
They need the bubble Bam. Where you at, bro?
Yeah, they need him, bro.
I can't believe it. I looked on that. I was like 9.4 boards.
Yeah, I'd have been hot at that.
Like how you get 9 points and 4 boards and don't even win? I mean, and they won. Like how did you? I looked at Jimmy. I said, okay, Jimmy gave 40.
Jimmy
I see
went off.
why.
Jimmy went off.
But prior with Jimmy getting 40, that shot. Jimmy's not an efficient 40. That he was in, but he wasn't in game 2 with the 29.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you got to, like I said, Brown and Tatum both can score. I mean, they both can score.
They both can
defend.
30 in a heartbeat.
So you're gonna have to really go after them.
Yeah, and who do you put Jimmy on? Shit, Tatum or Brown? You got it. I
Well,
take Tatum.
You got to take one away.
I take Tatum.
You got to take one away.
Because right now Tatum in his bag. Tatum in his bag right now.
But the thing about Tatum, he's not scoring. Like he has moments where he'll score a lot. Then he has moments he scores in spurts.
Yeah.
He'll drop in spurts, and then it's like, all right, I'm not gonna score. Because even game 1, he had a great first half. Second half, he didn't do much.
Yeah, he turned the ball over a lot.
Right. Game 2, he came out, but then it was really Tatum who took over in the second half. Not Tatum, excuse me. It was Smart took over in the second half. So I look at him and say, can he maintain? I mean, we watched him when he played against the Bucks. He had the 46-point game, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had a better second half than the first half.
Mm-hmm.
He started slow. So he tends to have spurts where he could he goes on a run, then he goes on a tear, then he's like, all right. He's kind of like, all right, you got to figure out from there. But man, Bam though, I don't know, man.
Bam and Tyler is on y'all, bro.
So y'all, it's definitely on you guys. And Duncan, hey man, listen.
Play him.
I know
You got nothing else to lose.
You gotta get some threes. You gotta open the floor.
Got to.
You got. That's the only way you're gonna help Jimmy.
And that helps. And that's what Boston is doing. Like they shooting so many threes, and when they do put it on the floor, they getting anything they want at the rim.
Only thing I have a problem with is how they ref Boston. Like for a team that only shoots threes, they shoot a lot of threes, or they drive. They get way too many calls as far as like body calls. They get way too many calls because sometimes at some point, yeah, we get it. People may be leaning them a little bit and push them a little bit, but a lot of that stuff you can let some of that stuff slide. And then I don't like when they and it happened the other day. Boston and some other teams, they do a lot of moving picks.
Oh yeah.
With them threes, they move all day long, and it's like I think even LeBron pointed out. Like we gotta do something by the way we ref picks because man, Boston moves all day long. They move to the left, they move to the right. Like the shooters are like getting wide open shots because they're moving on those picks.
Yeah, the referees definitely need to be more consistent.
Yeah, man, it's been an awful refereeing season, especially playoff season. Yep. It's been awful. Let's get into the Western Conference Finals, man. We know what's going on with Luka and them. Luka, they're down 0-2. Luka dropped a 40-piece last night. Was up 19 points.
Bro.
Lost. Game 1. Golden State came out, took it to him, won by 20, 25, maybe 30 points. What can Dallas do going home, bro?
Nothing.
What can Dallas do? Because what can they do?
Nothing. I mean, when you get 31 from Brunson, you get the third score was Bullock. I think he had like 20, 21.
Yeah.
I mean, you know you need Dinwiddie to be be a better spark off the bench. You can't have single digits, but you gave your best effort, and you still lose by almost 10. Right? You gave up almost 80 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
Like you gave your best effort. Bro. Like going home. Like what more can you do?
Maybe being at home.
Maybe sleeping in your own bed might help.
Maybe that helps.
They better find some defense. Somehow, some kind of way.
I think being the better defender team, but my problem is, man, why do they keep letting Looney go off like that? Like last night, 21-12?
Yeah, career high.
21-12.
Even he was shot.
They're like, when's the last time you scored 20 points? College?
Right. You been in the league about 5
years.
Right,
you been in the league 5 years? That's the first time you scored 20 points?
Yeah, bro.
Like at some point, it's got to be two things. Rebounding needs to become more of an issue. Mm-hmm. And playing defense. Like, listen, if I understand when Steph goes off, I get it. And even at this point, Jordan Poole is showing us that he can get high at some type of instant, and it can change the tide of a game. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have to let somebody, to take away somebody else, you're going to have to let somebody else get open shots. Now, I'm not sure if if that's going to be Draymond.
Yeah, I'll leave him open.
You need Draymond open.
Because he ain't going to try to shoot.
Or you leave the kid that came out of Minnesota. I'm trying to think his name now.
Wiggins.
Wiggins. You leave Wiggins open?
Yeah, Wiggins going to go get 40.
But you can't let Clay, you can't let Steph go off. You gotta just keep him under wraps somewhat. But you can't let the big man give you 21 and 12. He's shooting layups.
Yeah, he at the rim all day.
Like that's all. I mean, you watch it. He would shoot because he can't jump.
Nah.
He's not a leaper. So half the time when he's shooting the ball, he's normally cuffing, going around the other side of the basket. So he's not a leaper. There's a couple of times where he got challenged at the rim, and then people like jumped up. You could tell they blocked it.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point you can't let him just keep Looney. Can't let Looney just keep moving you around. So where's the defense intensity?
Yeah, if I'm J Kidd, I'm disappointed, bro. Like they made shots, even though I think down the stretch, because I was falling asleep and I woke up because I went to bed. I fell asleep down here in the basement. They were about like 20 almost. I was like, damn, they about to be out. I woke up, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, these people just choked this game away. Mm-hmm. I was like, ain't this by the bit? I'm like, these dudes tripping, dog. And like I said, bro, when we talked about the last series with Dallas, who was going to be their second scorer? Can they step up? Mm-hmm. And it seemed like whenever Brunson went off, they won. Brunson went for 31, and you still lose almost by double figures. Right. So like going home, yeah, you might get a few extra calls. You may have where, you know, Steph and Clay may not be on, but what more can you do from a defensive standpoint? Like, you got to change it up and do something. If I'm J. Kidd, bro, I'm disappointed. This is the game to take, right? You felt like you were going home.
The way they were shooting the ball in the first half,
it was lights out.
I mean, I think they hit like 18 threes in the first half.
Dude, it was lights out.
I mean, they scored 70, I think 72 or 77 points in the first half.
Yeah.
You only had 115. It means you only dropped 40 in the second half.
Yeah,
somewhere around that range. So, and you had the opportunity to really put your foot on their necks. And I think at times they fell in love with 3 way too much.
Yeah.
When I was watching the third and fourth quarter, they just weren't shooting the same efficiency. And that was one of the issues they were having. They weren't hitting the same level of threes, so they weren't driving the ball to the basket. They weren't still attacking the rim. They weren't being aggressive in that level. Luka still wasn't attacking the rim. And then they kept trying to go with this. I mean, as we saw, Golden State went to like a zone defense, and they would make that switch with Looney up top, and Luka was trying to go after that, but it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So at some point, Jason Kidd, to me, should have probably maybe thought about a different strategy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Brunson was doing a good job penetrating, right? But Bullock or Finney-Smith were just missing shots in that third and fourth quarter, and they needed them guys to hit those threes that they were hitting in the first half to really push that game away, to take the aggression away from Golden State, right? To take that, and then like we just talked about, the defensive side of the ball, man. Like, Golden State was getting layups.
Yeah, no force.
Klay Thompson dunked the ball. Klay ain't dunked in years.
If I say Klay ain't dunking about 17 years.
And the thing about it is like Klay, like, you know, people like, I think that Reggie Miller was yelling like, look at Klay dunking the ball. I'm like, well, he still is 6'7".
Yeah, he should be.
Like he should be dunking the ball. It's not like he went over the rim and dunked it backwards or something. Like, he should be dunking. But I mean, those type of things where it was just an easy backdoor layup. Dunk. It wasn't Looney getting layups. He just is drive and kick. Yeah. At times, Looney was just playing on the baseline. Bro, why do y'all keep letting Looney get behind you? So as soon as they drive, he's just coming and laying the ball up.
Yep.
Those type of plays was killing him.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see what they do. What can they do to possibly?
We're gonna talk.
They won the game, but I just don't see them taking this serious.
We're gonna talk about that now. Let's have a discussion first on Game 3 with the Celts and the Heat, man.
Yep.
We dived into a little bit on a recap, but what can the Celtics do? I mean, what can the Heat do? The series is 1-1. We know that they can win. I think Miami is capable of winning a game in Boston. How can they get that done?
If Kyle Lowry's playing, he got to give him double digits. Like, he can't be a liability just because you're out there because you know Kyle Lowry think it's gonna be emotional leader. Like, nah, you got to be out there. You got to get double figures, and they need to find 2 other guys that can at least give them 17. I think if Jimmy can give you 25 to 30, they can beat Boston in Game 3. They need to find 2 other guys, and you would think it would be Hero, 6th man of the year, and they need to find something in Bam. Bam got to give him a double. It's the energy. Like, he's an energy guy, and he has to match that energy. And that's the only 2 people I can feel that you can probably try to get 20 out of. That's the only way I can see him getting a game in Boston.
Right now, they got Boston at 6 points.
That's not bad.
That's a huge gap from the last 2 games.
Yeah.
They been giving Miami like 3.5 or 1.5.
They're not giving them any respect.
And they're not giving Miami any chance to win that game.
And then I don't think Tucker gonna play. Like, you know, Jimmy might have to play the whole game.
Jimmy might.
He might have to play.
He might have to.
He might have to, like, because if he sit, like, who do you can really truly depend on?
Like I said, Victor.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, he's really getting his feet under himself after all the injuries he's had the last couple years.
Right.
Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on him and say, Victor, I need you to be the guy.
Well, look at it like this. There's 4 game time decisions. Kyle Lowry's at game time. PJ's at game time.
Yeah, looking good.
Gabe Vincent's at game time.
And that's a starting point guard.
And Max Struss is a game time.
And he taking the minutes from Duncan Robinson. So
you're gonna have to play Duncan.
Duncan might give him a spark. Right? You're gonna lose something defensively, but you got to try something.
To me, it makes more sense to go with Duncan Robinson. Yeah, you got Victor Oladipo. What the fuck the boy name is? Victor, whatever your name is, man. We got Victor. We got Tyler Hero. I'm looking at the roster. I mean, maybe you give you're gonna have to give Marquis some more.
Yeah,
some
where he been? He ain't played since.
Martin, maybe some couple of more minutes, but then
Mars haven't really played since he got hit with
he ain't been the same
Jokic.
since Jokic ran into him.
The shit out of him.
Yeah, he ain't been the same since. So I'm looking at their roster.
I don't see where it's coming from, bro.
And I think the tough part they're gonna have is when you look at if you look at the 5 starters for Boston versus 5 starters for Miami Heat, you look at it, you really understand that Miami has, outside of Jimmy, there's no real pure advantage, and I don't want to say Jimmy's advantage.
Nope.
I think Jimmy may help them, even out the scoring. That's what I always look at these teams. You look at like in that understanding, like Jimmy may give you 25 to 30, but that's going to get canceled out because Tatum's probably going to give you 25 or 30.
Yeah.
So then when you look at outside of that roster, and I go down there and I look at my phone and look through different rosters and see where your advantages is, Brown's going to be better than their second PJ.
Yeah.
Matt Struss. I would pick Marcus Smart over him.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick players that are better talent over what Miami offers. So they're going to have to be a collective game. They're going to need at least to win Game 3 tonight. Mm-hmm. Their bench is going to have to need 30, 40 points, if not more. Their bench needs to come and play very well.
Yep.
And that's been a problem. Their bench in Game 2 didn't play well at all. Now the bench in Game 1 gave them a huge spark. They need more. They're going to need Victor Oladipo, whatever. What his name is? Oladipo. Sorry, bro. I know you've been in the DC area. Bam up here, sister, all that, whole shit, bang, but I can't remember your name. But they're going to need him to really come out there and drop 20, 25 points.
They need it. Like you said, if you cast out Tatum or Brown with Jimmy, Marcus is better than Nate's second and third. Jaylen Brown better than their second and third. Hell, shit, Al Horford seems like he's playing better than their 5.
Right.
I just don't see it, bro.
And we just talked about Bam. It's to a point we're not even bringing up Bam because we know he's not playing at the level that they need.
Yeah, they need him big time.
So it's like, can he bring anything in the game that's going to help him? I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on him.
You ain't betting on him no more?
Absolutely not. I can't believe
you ain't betting on
him. Bam, I bet on you, bro. Think you going to give me a double-double. All I needed was a double-double.
That's easy.
That's all I needed.
10 rebounds is hustle.
Double-double and a win. That's all I need. Double-double and a win. Nope. 0 double-double. 0 win. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. All right, let's discuss the Game 3, Game 4, the strategies that gets Dallas back in this series.
They got to play with some type of force, right? Like you said, they gave up so many easy layups, backdoors, easy baskets in the second half in Game 2. But I think they win Game 3. I think J. Kidd going to get his message across. I think Luka will be more aggressive when they do make the switch and stop shooting all of, step back threes he like to take and just get to the basket. Looney, he's a nice size, but he ain't no shot blocker. Draymond ain't no rim protector either. So when you feel like your jumper's not going, get to the rack. Get to the rim. Make the referees call the fouls. But I think Dallas win Game 3 and put a little more pressure on Golden State. So I think Luka can bounce back with a Game 3 win.
I think Dallas found something in Game 2, though. I think they realized, okay, we can shoot with these guys. We can score with them.
Yep.
We may not, but we need to keep our defensive intensity up as well.
That's what they got to give up.
But they showed Game 2, hey, we can shoot the ball with them. We can score. Luka can get whatever he wants. But they got to keep the defensive intensity, and that's been the issue. Now, Luka, you got to play better defense.
Shit, that's wishful thinking.
Man, listen, he played better in the series with Phoenix.
Yeah.
They weren't just going out like they was in Game 2.
Yeah.
When they hit Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6, always 7, seeing Luka picked up his defensive intensity. But they need more.
There's one,
because he showed the other day that he ain't
trying.
No, he ain't trying. He ain't trying. It was times where guys would just go right past him. Are you injured?
Oh, you got like a shoulder,
your shoulder got nothing to do with your legs.
Under the weather,
Your shoulder's got nothing to do with your legs. Yeah. And I watched them the other last night where guys were just going right past him. Pump fake, up fake, go right past you. Jab step, go right past you. At some point, you got to play a better defensive game for yourself. for your teammates. You know, you got you game one, you didn't get a Brunson. You got a Brunson performance. That's a waste.
Yep.
That's a 30-point performance that you got out of Brunson. He came there, Bullock. He played 20-point game.
Yeah,
he played well. You know, now Dinwiddie, I don't need to talk to you, bro. You can't give all these 6 points.
Yeah, you gotta
You looking like Dinwiddie of the Wizards.
You
can't.
Not the Dinwiddie of Brooklyn.
Nah, man. You can't come in there giving up just putting out the 6 points. That's awful. That's not a high level performance.
Yeah, they need him.
And they need you to match Jordan Poole's effort.
Yeah.
Right? Jordan Poole gave you what? He gave you what, 20-something last night?
Mm-hmm.
You may have to get 20-something, but you need to get at least 12 to 15.
Yeah, you gotta match it.
You gotta match his energy, excuse me. And the fact is that Jordan Poole is a horrible defender. So if you don't go at Jordan Poole and give him the same dose he's giving you, you're not doing anything for yourself. You're not helping this team. So you got to play better, bro. Like it's. I think that you're letting the refs and the crowd get in your head, right? But I can't deal with it. You got to play better.
He said Dinwiddie of the Wizards.
Yeah, he's playing like Dinwiddie of the Wizards. I can't do it.
And this is the type of moment that they brought him in to be that second guy.
Absolutely.
Right. This is the reason. This is the moment where your season is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because if you go down 3-0, you're not coming back.
You're not coming back.
Right. Like, you know, Golden State is better than Phoenix. You know, they got a little bit more options. But this is the time where they brought you here in that trade for a reason.
I agree.
Or you gonna really put up or shut up?
You got to.
The season's on the line right now.
The season's on the line, and I mean, listen, get to the finals will give you no more money. So the incentive is getting that ring.
Yeah.
So he's got to play better because, man, when I watched the other day, I just didn't. I was totally turned off by his performance.
Yeah, you can't have 6 points again.
Like 6 points, and you know that they in critical moments they need you, and complain about the refs and the issues of that stuff. Yeah, it was some bullheaded calls that were happening.
Can't let it get to you.
But you can't let it get to you. You got to play through that.
Yeah, you ain't no rookie.
Give me your prediction. Game 3 and Game 4. Who wins those games between the Warriors and the Mavs? Who you got?
Mavs winning both games, going on the line.
2-2.
2-2 going back to Chase Center on Tuesday,
I agree.
whatever.
I think it's going to be 2-2 going back to the Chase Center, going back to San Francisco.
And Luka, I trust.
And Luka struts, right? Oh, you trying to steal my line? Huh?
And Luka,
You trying to steal my line?
Luka,
y'all went on Luka like that, and then Luka. All I heard a couple weeks ago was about Phoenix this, Phoenix that. Phoenix gonna beat him in 5, and I said Luka a bad boy. Luka gonna bring it back. Y'all be ready. Luka ain't gonna go down like that. And Luka went right in there and did exactly what I said he was gonna do.
Luka bad.
Go and win. And I should have picked him for Game 7 against Phoenix because I had a feeling they would win that game. I said Luka's the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
I can just see it coming. Prediction though. What will the series be between the Celts and the Heat coming back to Miami after this week?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 Boston. I don't see Miami winning 2 games in Boston.
Well, it's 1-1 right now.
So they got 2 games in Boston. It'll be 3-1 going back in Game 5.
So you think Boston will win both games?
Both games.
They're not going to win a game.
Miami would not win a game in Boston. Put it that way.
Wow.
It's going back to Miami 3-1. Miami 3-1. That's
I
what
think it's going to
back.
go back 2-2.
Okay.
I think Miami's going to win the game in Boston.
They better.
I don't know if
That
it's
shit
game.
might be a gentleman sweep.
I don't think it's Game 3 though.
Okay.
Boston have lapses,
Oh yeah, they do.
right? And if they're not hitting that 3,
Yeah, that's their whole game.
that's the whole game. So
They shoot about 50 of them.
Miami needs to get to a point where they can get some inside points, stay within range, and Boston will shoot themselves out the game. So I do feel like it's going to be 2-2 going back.
Okay.
Yeah, I do feel like that. All right, man. Let's dive into some comments about Pat Bev.
Patty.
Pat Bev was on a rampage this past week on the ESPN Car Wash rampage. He was going after everybody.
He was on the
He
media
was on the
tour.
media. He was going after everybody. Everybody's name was Chris Paul. What is he? A junior? I think he's the third. That's why he's CP3.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why he's CP3 because he's Chris Paul. Yeah, he's the third of his family. I think his dad is junior. I think his grandfather's senior.
Okay.
Right? And I could be making this up. But, man, it was a lot he was saying. I mean, I can go on and on. It was a lot to jump on, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. But the fact that he was attacking Chris Paul the way he was, bro. I'm gonna let you start this off. What was your thoughts on it? Do you think it was fair and foul that he was opening up all that information about Chris Paul, Phoenix? Like, what was your thoughts on it when you were going through?
I mean, it's his honest opinion, right? And you know, he talked about the history, even going back to college.
Well, he was in high school.
Oh yeah, because Chris Paul was older than him.
And Chris Paul was already got drafted.
So
he was coming out of high school. Chris Paul had already got drafted.
So it seems like it was just like some built up stuff he just had on his chest, and he's like, I'm letting it go. And whether it's fair or foul, I mean, that's his opinion. But I think a lot of times you look at, you know, what Chris Paul has done in this league. He's one of the best point guards of all time. He's up there, right? And people look at it like, well, Pat Bev, you ain't been doing crap in the league. You ain't been doing shit, bro. Just a scrappy player, nice to have on the team, plays defense. But, bro, you're not making no impact on no team where it's going to make a championship or not. Chris Paul has always been in that situation. There's a lot of pressure sitting in that seat. But I loved it. I mean, it's great banter, talking trash. But to say the man a coon, at first when I first read it, I read it in glance. I'm like, damn, did he call this dude a coon? Right? So when I was like, oh, let me really look what he said. Like, bro, Chris Paul been all defense, bro, at least half of his career. Like, what are you talking about? The man a cone, like people just going at him. Yeah, people going at him now. He's older in the league, going into year 18 next year. But Chris Paul is like that on defense. Do Chris Paul get a lot of calls? Do he do a lot of little grimy little stuff? You know, yeah, that's who he is. But I loved it. I mean, you know, man spoke on his heart, right? He said what he felt, whether it's right or wrong. You got to live with the backlash. And Danny Green went on him. Matt Barnes went on him, right? But stand on what you say, dog. You know, stand on it. You felt the way, stand on it.
I agree. I didn't have any issues with it. I mean, let me start there. He kept it, even though it was personal, it was basketball personal. Mm-hmm. It wasn't personal. Yeah. And I really thought that's what made it to me okay. That it was a basketball discussion, a basketball issue, and it wasn't a personal issue in a sense like he wasn't attacking his family.
Right.
He wasn't attacking his friends. He wasn't attacking his parents, nothing of that nature. He wasn't attacking anything of his credibility off the court. It was an on-the-court discussion and issue. Mm-hmm. It was an on-the-court thing. Like when he said, man, I tore into him when he talking about they played against each other and against in LeBron James camp. That was more of it. It was all at the level of basketball. So I didn't really, I think when you're going back and forth at this level, whether it's Matt Barnes, whether it's Jeff Green, all those guys, as long as you're keeping, because these all are professional NBA players, mm-hmm. As long as they are keeping it at the championship, at the NBA basketball, the basketball level, a basketball conversation, a basketball argument, mm-hmm. I have no problem with it. Yeah. I thought it was fair. 100% fair. And this is, like I said, this is why I said we're fair and foul. But I have no problem with two guys going at each other who feel like, hey, this is my issue with this, my issue with that. From a basketball, he's a cone, he doesn't do this, doesn't move. that was funny. It was great, but it was a basketball.
Said, you know what it's like, you know what a cone?
You know what a cone is? It don't move. Like, that's what he is. Nobody's scared of him. Nobody's scared of Phoenix. But he kept that, even when he pulled up, even when he gave his thoughts about what PG said, Paul George. It was a basketball conversation. Like, nobody afraid of him. Basketball. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like, I didn't like the people who made this thing like, well, he shouldn't say that, he shouldn't say this. He kept the basketball. It wasn't like he said something personal. Mm-hmm. He didn't say this guy wasn't this or this guy wasn't that. He was just a basketball discussion about what he feel Chris Paul is from a basketball standpoint. And that he don't feel like that Chris Paul is not the type of player of today that he should be given a lot of the accolades that he's receiving, right? And that's cool. Like, people, I don't understand why people don't realize, like, that's okay if you feel from a basketball standpoint. Mm-hmm. Now, if you'd have said to him, like, well, Chris Paul, from a personal standpoint, is this and that and that and this, I would have been like, bro, that's not cool. Yeah. Because what Chris Paul has done,
he made him a lot of money.
Not just a basketball, but just a PA, but what he's done for the last 3 or 4 years, to support the Black Initiative, to support and drive home Black families and Black entrepreneurship and to drive on the fact of black businesses and to keep trying to drive, to build and help the black economy.
Yeah.
I've always looked at what he's doing and really I've been a fierce supporter of what Chris Paul does off the court. Yep. And on the court, he's a fierce competitor. And sometimes that competitiveness gets in him in certain situations. It doesn't always work well for him when he doesn't win. That competitive nature gets him in situations and gets him involved in altercations that maybe he could avoid if he doesn't have that type of character. But that character is probably what makes him the player that he is. So, and I feel like that's the same thing for Pat Bev. Patrick Bev has the same demeanor, same attitude. They just presented it totally different ways. Yeah. And what I like about Pat Bev is he's from Chicago. People don't realize Pat Bev averaged like 37 a game in high school. He was a baller. Like people think Pat Bev was just some average dude. No, Pat Bev was a straight baller. He could play his tail off and went to Arkansas and ball. Yeah. Was freshman of the year, or newcomer of the year. And, just then from that point on, maybe people just didn't feel like he was such a polished, skilled offensive player, so they started trying to develop him into more of a defensive player. He had to go overseas, found his role in the NBA, and here we are to today with what he's doing. Yeah. But, he has an opinion. I don't feel like you should not stop him from having an opinion. He should have an opinion. I have no issues with what he said. Now, and like I said, once again, he didn't go personal beneath under the belt. He kept it. He may have been very blunt. Yeah. And what he said, but it was more, like I said before, it was more of it was still a basketball conversation. That's why I think that people like LeBron, who is, Chris Paul, one of Chris Paul's best friends, the other guys, didn't get involved because they feel like he's talking from a basketball standpoint. He's not talking from a personal standpoint. Yeah. I don't have any issues with it.
So what do you think about Pat Bev's comments about why CP3 don't get the backlash for when he loses the way he lost in the Dallas series, like other superstar athletes like LeBron or KD or Giannis? Why do you think what do you think about that comment?
I thought it was right. Chris Paul should be held accountable, but here's what I think about reason why Chris Paul doesn't get. To answer that question, I feel like Chris Paul doesn't get the backlash because one, he's 6 foot tall, right? He's not a physically imposing player. His skill sets are good, but his skill sets are great, but he doesn't have that physical imposing body features. He's not supremely athletic, right? He's a good athlete, but he's not supremely athletic to like a LeBron. We talk about Giannis. He's just not these guys who you look at and you just revel at because of their size, ability, and what they can do on the court. So he's a guy that, to me, he's like me and you sitting right here, not in the same breath, but in the sense like the everyday guy who gets up and walks around and does things from a physical standpoint. He's in better shape, of course, right. But from just a God-given talent of height, he's not there, so he doesn't have that imposing, so people look at him differently. And it does help that he was the president of the NBA, right? That should give him some leeway here and there as far as the media, right? Because he's probably been open discussing on different things with the media about other stuff when it comes to the NBA. So they're just not as quick to turn on those vigorous spills or rhetoric that they go on about his ability to win those big games or win the championship. I do feel like that has been a part of it, right? But you got to say something that he's not winning. He's not winning the big ones. Yeah. He's not winning he loses series. Now, when he was in New Orleans, there was more of an understanding because he was in New Orleans. He didn't have the talent. He just had David West. Yeah. Right? The coaching wasn't there. But this year, with Phoenix, they had everything.
Yeah, everything. They had a couple years, 2 years.
So there's been no excuses. Yeah. Right? So yeah, I feel like he should have took it. He should have got it. Now, let me turn it back on you. Why do you feel like he didn't?
I think because we don't have the expectation of Chris Paul from a championship standpoint every year, like a KD, like a LeBron, like a Giannis, right? And coming to the season, if Chris Paul makes it to the Western Conference Final, cool. If he loses, it's just another bad collapse on his career. He's had them before. But I think he don't get the backlash like the other superstars in the league because there's no expectation, right? Yes, the expectation is Chris Paul is going to make the playoffs, which he's done all his career, but we know Chris Paul ain't winning no championship. Last year was his best chance. He lost 4 in a row to Giannis. But every year we ain't coming in like, man, CP, it's make or break year for him. It's just another year that CP3 is in the league. He's going to always put his team in the best situation to win. And when he collapsed like he's been doing, here we go. Just another collapse by Chris Paul and another bad collapse on his career. And I think that's why I look at it like that's why you don't get the backlash, because there's no expectation.
But at what point does he get expectations? He's been in the league almost 17, 18 years.
Shit, if he ain't got it by now, he ain't gonna get it.
But do you think it's because of the fact that he's not a physically imposing athlete? He doesn't have. You don't look for Chris Paul to be a dominant athlete, a dominant basketball player.
Nope.
You're looking for him to be somebody that be somebody who can drive a team. They keep calling him the greatest leader to play the game or play in the NBA today.
I would agree with that.
So if he's the greatest leader, why he can't go out there and lead his team to win the chip?
Yeah, like you said, it goes back to physicality. Because physical, it seemed like as soon as he turned 37, it's just like shit just fell off the cliff. I don't know.
I don't know if that's the reason why.
No, it's just coincidental, though. And it's like damn. As soon as he turned 37, he had an issue with the fan and his people. It's like he just fell off the table.
But I think that's, to me, I thought that was ridiculous that not fans, but people in the media were saying that.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't, even in the series against New Orleans, he was having games where he would play extremely well, and he would have games that he would play, either average or poor. Right? It wasn't consistent. He wasn't very consistent. He had that, everybody talk about that 14-14 game.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But the game before that, he really didn't do much of anything. Yeah. Or the previous game that was in New Orleans, like game 4, he struggled. So it's just like one of those things where maybe at that point, maybe we're having Herb Jones on him in that first series, and then going to Bullock the second series, just those long, lengthy bodies were just affecting him. Yeah. And at times, like Pat Bell said, teams were going at him.
Yeah.
Like they were like, okay, you know what? We're gonna start going at him like he's going at everybody else. And we saw that with Chris Paul last year in the finals.
Yep.
We saw the same thing, game 1 and game 2. We were right here talking about those games, and I remember saying right then and there, like, what was my statement? And I remember saying this for verbatim. I said, you keep talking about this, I guarantee you the Bucks win 4 straight.
He did. He called it.
And they won 4 straight because I was like, physically, he cannot keep that up. Now, it just wasn't about Chris Paul overall, but it's about the team in general. But he's the one who pushes, he wants to lead that team. He the one who pushes the tempo. But I knew that the way they're playing, it's not sustainable.
And then he's older, right?
Right.
He can't bring it every night like the younger superstars in the league.
Right.
And he's pacing himself, and it's just coming at the wrong time when he having a bad series, and it's just another notch on his resume, another notch on his career, and nobody's really surprised. I think that's why he's not getting the backlash. Nobody's shocked by it.
Right.
It's just, Chris Paul lost it. Well, yes, another. He's done it again, and that's just what the write up gonna be, man. It's
just gonna be what it is, right?
It's Chris Paul. That's his career, right? Either it's an injury, and now it's just bad collapse. That's what he's telling into his career. So he says he's coming back year 18, but the expectation.
I hope he does. I hope he does. I think
he's good for Phoenix.
Yeah, I think so as well. And they need him.
They need him. He's good for Phoenix.
They need him. So man, let's get into this last topic right here, because this right here, it's gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This right here is gonna be a good one, right? It's funny because we were sitting at the house. I saw it actually to give this interview some context, right? I saw the interview the next day after it happened. So to give the interview some context, and for all the people out here, we're about to bring this up now. Right now, I think it's this summer or it's coming up pretty soon. The World Games is happening, and they're having either a segment or they're having some form of the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. They will pick one of the cities to host one of the World Games. I don't know if it's all of it or if it's some of it. So, of course, when you have things like this, this is an opportunity for, organizations to do some pitching, biddings, and to go out there in that community. I ain't gonna say wealthy community, but people of common interest to have discussions on different things. And one thing that was brought up was NILs and discussion of how things are, how it's affecting college football and college sports in general. Mm-hmm. And Nick Saban had a lot to say, right? He had a lot to say, a lot to discuss, and things were going. He was giving his pitch or his spill on what he thought as far as how they should regulate NILs, the deals, the community in general, so that it has some context to it instead of it being what it's been doing now, of late especially, right? And he used some examples, and I think at some point he should have probably stopped. But he used some examples of Texas A&M paying or buying their players, pretty much the entire class, and then he used Jackson State as well as things that he's pulled from different articles that's been out there as far as Jackson State providing Travis Hunter with $1 million NIL to sign to go to JSU. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Right? Give me your thoughts, right?
I was always told by my mom, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay. And you never know, why are you worried about what another school is doing, right? If you're the big bad Alabama that's been running college football since Nick Saban has been at Alabama, why are you even worried about what Jimbo Fisher is doing, whether he bought the whole class or not? It's not like Texas A&M is even making it to the SEC championship game. They even contend to be in the college football playoffs, right? He should have just said, you know what, there's some people or teams maybe buying teams or whatever, but that's not our situation. We're focused on Alabama, and that's what we do. And to sit here and think that Alabama is not giving out these major NIL deals to these players, you'll be fooling yourself, right? Tua coming from Hawaii. Come on, bro. I can go play at USC. That's closer to my home. While I'm coming across the country to play at Alabama, right? Then you don't think Alabama did some money to his family to move to Alabama? So Nick Saban just straight out of pocket, bro. And it's unfortunate. He tried to backtrack and apologize, but Prime is like, nah, we not having that. And it's unfortunate, bro, because all these schools, especially these big Power 5 schools, bro, all of them are paying these bogus NIL deals from boosters and alumni. Like, it's what the system has come to. And you play the game or don't play it, but these players are looking at it, who can give me the most money? And I don't blame them. These schools are making billions of dollars off these kids back from all sports. And to worry about $1 million deal for Travis Hunter going to Jackson State, we know Jackson State don't have no $1 million, but if they scrapped it up, more power to them. You know what I'm saying? But for Nick Saban to come out this side of his mouth, bro, he out of pocket, dog. And if I'm Jimbo Fisher, dog, why you worried about me? You Nick Saban, right? And then the article came out from, I think, The Athletic. Way back when they was at LSU together, right? Like a long history. And it seems like Fisher's just fed up.
Is he?
He may be. Like his tone felt like he is. He feel like Saban is singling him out.
Can I dive into it?
Absolutely. Alabama is your squad.
You ready? Okay. So I know through the text, folks, there's a lot of group text people were sending. Keon loves to send this out first because he feels like he saw it first for some odd reason.
He said he got the exclusive.
I guess he doesn't realize that this ain't notification he gets, we get, right? Yeah. But anyway, so let me start here first for once, right? At first, when I first heard about it, I was like, I was kind of wondering, like, okay, what is it that Nick Saban is talking about here on this particular issue? But then I started diving into it a little bit more, and I started realizing that number one, Nick Saban was talking to a community of people, boosters. Boosters are future boosters, right? Or donors. So that was really a drive to try to get these guys to invest more into the program, put more money up because of what's going on as far as NIL deals across the college platform. Now, let me dive into what you just said a little bit, and then I'm gonna get back into the storyline as well. Nick Saban has always been a czar or a spokesman of college football. He's always given his opinion. He's given his opinion at different levels and different things, whether it's been very positive are very negative. When injuries was going on and Bama was losing games, because first they were only losing 1 or 2 games here and there, and then Bama would lose a game, but also injuries was going on when people started playing this fast, quick football, no rest, just kind of getting up, running a lot of reps, and teams were winning, but also a lot of injuries was happening. Nick Saban was the first person to step up and say, hey, listen, we can't, this can't be sustainable. Your offense is running 90 plays, defense on the field 90 plays, you're running maybe 50, 60 plays. This can't be sustainable for college football and college players, right? So at the same time, he always gave his spiel on something and gave his pitch. And so I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and you asking for them. I have no problem. I listened to the entire interview. I had no problem with what he said. I have no problem with what he said about Texas A&M because they're a competitor of his. Yep. They're a team a university or organization that he's going to see year in, year out. He competes with them recruiting. Yep. He competes with them in the games. He competes with them at all levels. So if you're Nick Saban, you want to keep a competitive advantage, you're going to tell your constituents, the people out there, that community, hey, I need more money from you so we can do more of that. And this is how they're doing it. Yeah. So we need to set up something like that. So here's the thing. Once that happened, I don't know if it happened before that interview or it happened after that interview, but there has been a community of something of likeness, like this. The same type of situation they have in Texas A&M, they've now created one for University of Alabama. So he was basically saying, hey, listen, I need you to invest into that or we need to create something like that. Now, we know Texas A&M and Texas in general has oil money. We have money. They have money down there that they can utilize. And then listen, folks, if you've never been to Alabama and you've never been to Alabama, or you have been to Alabama, if you've never been, you understand they don't have the resources. You have been, you still understand they don't have the resources. I don't care who went to University of Alabama in a lifetime. It's only one Tim Cook. Tim Cook with Auburn. So at the end of the day, Alabama and the University of Alabama, they have a lot of people who have a lot of money. They don't have Texas A&M money. Right. They don't have Texas money. And even though some people may have some of that money, they may not get involved in the university at that level, right? So I understand what he was trying to do. That's what Deion said too. Later on, Deion came back and said, I knew exactly what he was trying to do. Yeah. He didn't like get pulled into it. Yeah. He didn't like it. Now, I didn't like, let's get into Jimbo's thing. First of all, Jimbo needs to really cut it out. Jimbo has no moral ground to stand on. Okay. Jimbo got suspended like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Right? I think it was a no clause or no whatever because they were over recruiting. Yeah. So
he left Florida State.
Not Florida State. This is at Texas A&M. Yeah. But the Florida State one, he left them in shambles. Yeah. Jimbo had no room to talk, no room there. So he really needs to. This whole moral compass he tried to stand on. It's about 17-year-old kids. And man, cut it out, bro. Like you have been the worst at all levels. You left Florida State in NCAA shambles. Yeah. There were all type of violations. You've been suspended at your own university now. Like, cut it out, bro. Like, you have no moral ground to stand on. Like, I understand you may not like Nick Saban to a certain degree, and maybe you felt but I don't think, here's my thing, Nick Saban didn't say anything personal. Right. He just said organizationally, that's what they're doing to get their players. Now, you could have said, we ain't doing that, but we're going to see on the field. You can say whatever you want to say. Now, here's the problem I had, and we can definitely dive into this. I didn't like the Jackson State reference.
Is he threatened by him?
No, it's not just that. I felt it had a lot of racial undertone with it. To me. Okay. Right? I felt like it sounded like he's saying, my ear sounded like he was saying, them down there, even them down there at Jackson State, gave a kid $1 million and they're laughing about it. Yeah. It felt like, that's not what he said personally. I'm not quoting him. But as I listened to what the tone of that message, it felt a little racial. It felt it felt racial, right? Because he could have used any other organization to make that example. Yeah. And I didn't understand to use Jackson State for that example. That bothered me because even though whether it's true or not, whether Travis Hunter got $1 million, where he didn't get $1 million. Yeah. You didn't have to say that with that tone and that message because we know that's an HBCU. Yep. And in a room of white men and white women maybe as well, in a room of white men and women, and I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of minorities in there.
Yeah, probably one too many.
You're not speaking to the constituents that I'm speaking to when we're having this conversation.
That's a good point.
So to me, that's what my problem was. You're not speaking to that level where the room is 50% black, 50% white, and you have say it's minorities all the way through it. Then that tone doesn't sound like that. If it's a bunch of HBCUs in that room, alums, that conversation would you make that same statement? Mm-hmm. Would you use Jackson State to make that point?
Yeah, I wonder why. Why would he use Jackson State?
You know what I mean?
Because he didn't get the player?
No, because he didn't recruit him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He didn't recruit Travis Hunter. So to me, that's why I had an issue. Mm-hmm. And I still have an issue with Deion's statement too, because why would you not pay this kid $1 million if he's not worth it? He got something. He made this statement like, we don't have to pay players, pay our players to play for us. Man, but why wouldn't?
Bro, you crazy.
Because somebody else is. So why would you not? And last time I said,
Deion paying them boys.
Didn't I see a commercial of your son with Beats by Dre on his hands?
He's shining.
So your son ain't out there playing. And I saw your son play on TV.
He's all right.
I don't know if I saw Beats by Dre worth sponsorship money for me to give to him. But
he gets it off his name.
But right? I mean, but he made it seem like
he's paying them players.
Like he wouldn't do it. But he is doing it. He's even went online and said, "I'm looking for an NIL deal for my lineman."
Yeah,
he said this. So
it's not.
You're not. So that's why I don't have a problem with what Nick Saban said. I just have a problem with the tone of the message, because to me it felt like if you was in somebody's mom and dad's house,
you're not saying that.
Would you say at that level?
Yeah, he ain't saying that.
Would you make that example?
Yeah, he ain't.
Would you make that say that, or would you say would you use that as a example of how NIL deals are being utilized? It just felt off to me, and that's why I didn't like. And I was like, Deion, apologize in person, but talk about that conversation in person, because that's my issue. It felt the racial undertone of it, like them. I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but them down there, even them down there in Jackson State are paying a kid $1 million. They're laughing at it. It felt like it was a divide. Let's say even Jackson State did. Let's say they did do that. Yeah. It felt like you're saying that they can't do it.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
You know what I mean? They doing it. How can they do it? Yeah. And I understand. That's why I understand what Deion was saying, because it felt like when he said that, he was saying something like, how can he bring it in? He had to give him $1 million. Well, if he didn't, Bryce. Now I would say this because people using Bryce as an example.
Yeah, he coming from California.
And that's true. But Bryce, the NIL deal didn't start when he came to Bama. People forget Bryce is actually in his 3rd year. So he got his million when he got his NIL deals. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was getting deals before that. But it was his sophomore year. It was going to his sophomore year.
Last year was his first year starting, right?
As a starter.
Yeah.
But he was going to his sophomore year.
That's when he got all the big deals.
Yeah, so it was going to his sophomore. So people don't realize he was already on campus. Mm-hmm. And when that started, so all his income, all that money that was generated from there came from him already being there. Yeah. Do they have needed regulations for NIL? We could talk about that another day, but I just didn't like that part.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely make a great point. And like you said, when you're talking in a room of white constituents, it definitely didn't come off right. Why you didn't even have to throw Jackson State in there to make your point, right? Why are you even worried about what Travis Hunter doing? You didn't even recruit him, so clearly you didn't want the kid, right? Yeah, is the system broken? It could be, but at the end of the day, all these big boys are paying these kids, man, and they deserve it. Whatever they get, man, they deserve it. Travis Hunter got $1 million, and it's gonna be on the low, man. More bravo to you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Bro, these schools are making too much money, bro. Nick, if it's a ploy to get your boosters more money to invest in the program, then say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro, my boosters, bro, we need to be able to compete. We need to have more boosters, alumni. We need more. That's all you got to say. And like I said, it's going to make for some good TV come October 8th. And Alabama, Texas A&M, boy, that bit's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be on.
Well, do you think they even shake hands in the beginning of the game?
No.
Yeah, it's gonna
beginning of the game. I don't think they come over there, and I won't be surprised if it's one of those things that
it's in Alabama this year. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's gonna be must-see TV.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games. It's gonna be a lot on the line. Here's the thing. Number one, I think Alabama's gonna blow them out. I think it's because not only that, I think the loss they had to them last year, I think Texas A&M was very disrespectful at it, and I feel like the players are gonna take a stance on this.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna get ugly. So
real fast.
they may get a fight or two on everything, but
yeah.
I definitely don't think those guys are gonna have it because think about Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. You know, those are like those guys. All the coaches in the SEC, especially, but those guys who are elder statements, who been in this league for a very long time, who are probably the most recognized coaches in this league, in the SEC.
Yeah.
You know, they're supposed to be a representation of what the league presents. And if they get out there and get the tussling, being that one is 56 and the other one's 70, it would be very embarrassing. And to a point where they probably get suspended for the remainder of the year, and going to the next season.
Yeah,
so
this is gonna be for.
It will be a terrible look. But I do feel like it's gonna be.
It added something to the rivalry. It ain't even a rivalry, but it added something to
it ain't a rivalry.
It added something to the game.
And people think that it's about him losing to them. But I think what Nick Saban's looking at is ultimately how can we utilize the same opportunities they're giving their athletes to get players to Alabama.
Yeah.
Right?
But I don't think Alabama's hurting for players.
Well, nah, but I mean, when you go from 2 5-stars to 9, that's a huge difference. Yeah. That means you're doing something. Like you can tell that storyline that they just out there recruiting hard way. Nah, you got something in play that is when. And listen, everybody knows it. Yeah. Now, and here's the thing. What I didn't understand is why I didn't understand why Jimbo got so upset. Like you don't have to hide it anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
You could have been like, yeah, this is how we doing it. You know, we do have that, but we're helping guys get money as soon as they walk in the door.
And we're doing it the legit way.
We're doing it the legit way. I think they're more afraid that, you know, if it comes out, then ACA finds on about it, they figure it out, then they
may dig into it.
And they come in and they establish, you know, guidelines that remove that type of situation from happening. But until that happens, you just keep moving forward.
Hey, bro, keep paying.
And keep moving. But to get up there, like, probably needs a slap in the face.
He said, Nick, a narcissist.
Yeah, narcissist. And did he not say something about Bobby Bowden?
Something with the Bowden and stuff came up in one of those articles.
But here's the thing, but he wanted Bowden out.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. They were trying to. It was either Bobby wanted another year, and Jimmy was like, "I'm not staying if he's here. He gets another year."
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense. So like, come on, man. I thought it was a little bit childish on both ends, but I didn't think Nick had to apologize. I think Nick owed Deion an apology.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they really have a face-to-face like Prime on.
Yeah, and I think they will because they both athletic guys. They both represent athletic, and they've been in commercials. They get money together, and I think Deion said something I thought was very genuine and respectful. He definitely said, "Hey, listen, man, I still love the guy. I think I got what he was doing. He said, just don't bring me into it."
Yeah.
But he said he was using me and Jimbo as pawns,
Mm-hmm.
and I totally got it. And I appreciate Deion taking a moment to sit down and think about that for a second.
I'm sure he was hot.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he woke up. He woke up with the Twitter immediately.
Boy, hot.
And said, "Yo, I'm gonna answer this lie that what's the name that Nick Saban put out there." But I was just like, I don't know, but I do feel like that he could have kept that out because I just didn't like that part.
Yeah, thanks.
I thought I didn't like that part. All right, man. Listen, man, we dived into it. It's a quick show for the day. We go a good 2 hours, but with two people we argue, we ain't got to argue as heavily right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Ray, man, if we got here, let's get your final thoughts, bro.
Man, good show, man. A dynamic duo in the building, man. It just shows, man, we just keep pressing forward. Keep supporting us, man. We got a lot of big things coming up this year. The year is damn near halfway over, but it's moving fast. But keep supporting us, man. Keep downloading and subscribing, and we in here, bro.
I agree, man. I think we're at a point where we're still doing great stuff. We're developing new stuff. We're developing things. We got new reels coming.
Get that TikTok, baby.
We're on TikTok now, folks. So definitely check us out on TikTok. Hey, man, just keep enjoying what we're doing, man. We love what we do.
Yeah, man. If you want to see something to add to the show, man, definitely hit us up. Instagram, DM. You can always reach out to us on Facebook, man. And we all about improving the show.
Yep. Let's get out of here, bro.
We out here. Well, Big would have been 50 today.
What's that?
I said Biggie would have been 50 today.
Who?
Biggie.